What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be working on my first ever car. So this is a 98 Hyundai Excel. I've had this car for a few years now and it's been through a lot. So this used to be a red car, but I got it painted black. Well, I did a lot of the work and then I just had a crash repair, Evolution Crash Repairers paint it for me, which was very nice. But it has been through the wars. So the rear of it, as you can see, is white, and that is for a reason. One day, literally a month after I just got it on the road and driving, I went to a petrol station. I parked like not to fill up the car, just parked like sort of in one of those car parks. And I must have forgot the handbrake. I went in, everything was fine, and then come back out and the car's rolling down and hit one of those massive poles. So it caved in the rear. It did a lot of damage, unfortunately. We had to actually get the rear of a car pulled out because it pushed in that far. We got that all done and we put a new boot and a new bumper on, but I haven't gone around to painting it yet. So that's one of the things I do want to do pretty soon, is paint the bits that need to be painted. So obviously I'll have to paint the boot and the bumper. And I don't know why, but I decided there's a few little small dents in this door. It's always been there. So I was like, oh, let me send them down and, fill them up. So I'm gonna have to repaint this door as well. And then the front guards, they got some damage and I tried to repaint them, but I didn't know what color it was. So I just tried to get just a generic, gloss black, but well, you can't really tell on camera, but they don't really match. So I'm gonna have to redo them. Other than that, like, this car's really nice. It's been a really good car. I haven't had really any dramas with it. Besides, I did blow up the motor initially. I spun a rod bearing, but I rebuilt it. Got the crank machined. I got undersized bearings, some oversized pistons with new rings, obviously. Yeah, and that motor's been running great ever since. I've put quite a few Ks on that motor now. Interior wise, not a lot has changed. I did put this seat in, which is all right, but I might actually change it to an L seat. I did make a seat bracket, but I haven't actually gotten around to painting it. And then, yeah, obviously I got a sparkly steering wheel on there, just a little shift knob as well. But it's actually very, very clean. The interior was very, very nice in this car. It is a GX, so this actually does have electric windows, which is pretty cool. And it's got sort of like the GX seats, or like the patterns and stuff like that, and the door cards. So there's a few changes. Oh, and also the gauge cluster also on the GX versions comes with an RPM gauge, which is pretty cool. Yeah, not a whole lot to see. It's very basic sort of interior on the XLs. So suspension wise, as you can see, the right is missing a shock, but it's pretty basic. I've just got some slotted rotors. I did paint the calipers red. I did sort of underbody the wheel wells, so they look a little bit better. I did used to have some coilovers on the car. They were XYZs, but it rode pretty crap, to be honest, because the XYZs are more designed for on the track, so it was really bumpy. I decided to take them out, and I have got some lowering springs for the thing. So I've got some lowering springs, but the front shocks are dead. So I have ordered some new shocks, so that'll be one of the jobs I'll be doing, is replacing them. But not really much is done to the suspension. It's pretty stock, and so is the brakes. And then engine bay wise, there has been a fair bit done to this car, so obviously it's been repainted, but I did try and do an engine bay shave. I have put just a little overflow bottle over there because there used to be a massive plastic one over there. So I did that. Also, the battery has gone to the boot and the fuse box is actually under the dash in the glove box, but I think I might move it back because it is a little bit annoying not having a glove box, so I might move it back to the engine bay. But yeah, I was trying to go for sort of like a shaved engine bay look, try to make it minimalistic, sort of like tuck the wiring and all that sort of stuff, but it definitely needs to be tidied up. I can do a lot better, learn a lot more skills than when I did this initially. Again, this was my first ever car. This was my first attempt at working on cars. Definitely, I can improve the engine bay. So anyway, what I want to do today is I want to fix up the exhaust system. I welded up my own custom exhaust system, but it's probably a little bit too loud. So it's a little bit too raspy. So I've got a bigger hot dog for it. And I also managed to find a set of headers. So yeah, so I'll be sort of painting them up and restoring them and then putting them on the car. And then yeah, I'll weld in a new hot dog. I have a 12-inch hot dog at the moment, and I've bought an 18-inch hot dog, so hopefully it's a little bit quieter. And also I've got a new exhaust tip as well. So the old one was probably just a little bit small. I wanted a little bit bigger. It was a 3-inch, so now I've gone to 3.5-inch. So hopefully that looks a little bit better. So here's the stuff I've got. So I've got the 18-inch hot dog. It's pretty big. And then in here is the exhaust tip. So I'll quickly show you this one. So it's there it is. It's pretty big. So yeah, it's a 3.5-inch out and a 2.5 in. And my system's actually 2-inch, so I've had to get a 2-inch to 2.5-inch because you cannot get like a 3.5 to 2-inch tip. So I will weld this one in, then weld the tip on that. So yeah, got the hot dog, and then I've got some flanges. I won't be using this 3-bolt one, but so I've got obviously a gasket, and then I won't be using this one either. Yeah, so I've got some flanges to weld in, and yeah, and then the gasket for it. Then I've got some exhaust hanger, so got that. Oh, actually, sorry, I'll be using this exhaust hanger. And what else? And then I managed to get this exhaust header from U-Pilot. I found it in one of their cars, so I was definitely going to grab that because you don't find these often. So yeah, grab that exhaust header. So here is my current exhaust system. So coming from the header up there, which is just a stock header, it splits into two, goes down to, there's the oxygen sensor up there. And then this is the custom bit I did. So this is a 12-inch hot dog, and I did some pretty shocking welds on this. That was not good. Then goes straight back around to exhaust hanger there, and then up to a flange, and then comes up to a muffler, and then normally I'd have a tip here, but I took it off, and then out the back here. So basically what I want to do is, for now, I'll keep this system. I think I do want to redo it one day, but yeah, so I basically put the header in, which will replace this bit up until this point, and then I'll get a new flange, put that there, and then I'll put I don't know where I put the 18-inch hot dog because I can put it really along here anywhere, but yeah, so put it somewhere here, and then yeah, weld it to this existing pipe and then going out. So that will be today's job. So we get straight to work. I had to slot this flange out so I could get this flange to line up properly. So I did that. That took quite a while. And then I started disassembling the old exhaust system. So we took off the lower pipe, and then we took off the header. And then we test fitted our new header, which looks a lot better. And then we put on the rear section. We marked where we wanted to cut this section, took it off, and then we chopped it. And there's the old section over there. And then marked up the new 18-inch hot dog. And once we marked it all up, we tacked it all in place with the flange and also a straight piece that I cut. And then took it back down and then fully welded it up. I'm definitely not the best welder in the world, but it gets the job done. They shouldn't go anywhere and it shouldn't leak, hopefully, fingers crossed. And then I put the exhaust system back in the car so then I can start making a hanger so this goes nowhere. So I got some rod, cut it down to size, and then fully welded it in the car. So this section is officially done, and then it's time to move on to the rear section. So I had to cut off a little bit of that there. I had to modify that hanger a little bit as well to get it to all fit properly. Then marked up my new exhaust tip, which looks so good. Definitely better than the old one. And then tack welded all that together. And then also tack welded the exhaust tip on, which that looks really good. And then fully welded everything. So that means the welding is all done. Alrighty guys, so we've finally finished up welding the exhaust and the new resonator, the new exhaust tip, and modified that rear hanger. And so now I've taken it all apart. So I basically laid it out on the floor, and then now I'll give it a scuff up and paint it with some heat-proof black paint. So I'll go do that now, paint it all up, clean it all up, and then we can finally put it back in the car, put new gaskets in it and new bolts, and then it'll be done. Then we can see if it sounds good or not. So I began painting the whole entire exhaust system, first starting off with the exhaust header, and then I painted the mid section with that 18-inch resonator, and then the rear muffler, and it all came off really good. I was really happy with it. So before I put in the car, I decided to reseal the cam cover. It was leaking a little bit, so I ripped out the old seals, which were pretty crusty, put in the new seals, put the cover back on, cleaned up the bolts as well, and put the spark plug leads back in. And then it was time to put the new exhaust system back in. So I put the header in first, which looks absolutely amazing. That came out so good. Then put the lower half on and connected the oxygen sensor up. Then put the mid pipe on with that 18-inch resonator, and that's looking pretty good as well. And then last but not least, put the rear muffler on with the new exhaust tip that we welded on. And I gotta say, this exhaust system is looking way better than before. But the real question is now, does it sound good? Alrighty guys, here we go. First start. I really hope this sounds good. Here we go. Oh, okay. Not bad. That's got a nice sound to it. Yeah, wow. Alright, let's check for leaks. Check this one. Yeah, sounds good. Got a nice rumble to it. That sounds awesome. Alright, we'll let it warm up and then we'll give it some revs. Alrighty guys, well there we go. We've finished the exhaust. It does have a small exhaust leak, so I've got to fix that. That's why it sounded a little bit farty, mainly on the D-cell. But it does sound quite a bit better. I'll put a before and after of what it used to sound like and then what it sounds like now. I mean, it's still an XL. It's not the best sounding motor, but it's a little bit better. Probably could go a little bit quieter, I might maybe install a high flow cat in the future, something like that. But yeah, overall it's pretty good. I'm happy with it. So for the next video, I'll be installing my brand new shocks. I just got them today, so that'll be in next video. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that one. I hope you found it interesting, me just wrenching on my first ever car and fixing up the exhaust system on it. So I think it looks a whole lot better. I think it sounds a bit better. I think the headers have made a difference to the overall note of the car. So I'm pretty happy with it. Probably needs a few more tweaks to get it sounding just right. Anyway, that wraps up this video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.